When you try to picture a rock band tour bus, what do you see? For many people, it can be a lot of partying, jamming, just chilling, or even an almost famous type of situation. But for Tom DeLonge, one of the founders of Blink-182, this is when he would study aliens. Okay, not exactly aliens, but encounters with UFOs. Hey there, how are you today? I hope you're good. So here's the thing, Angels and Airwaves, the new band of Tom DeLonge, just released new music, and that reminds me of a story that I am crazy about. Basically, Tom has always been obsessed with UFOs and aliens and things like that, and I always thought that this was just a hobby. I never really took it serious until the point that I found out that actually he's so into the topic that he even helps the government out by doing research on UFOs. I know, it's just so cool. So for today's video, I want to share with you the story of how Tom DeLonge went from a rock star to a UFO researcher. Did you guys subscribe? Did you subscribe? Like the video. Let's go. Okay, just a little background here for those of you who don't know. Blink-182 was founded in California in 1992 by Tom DeLonge, who was the guitarist and one of the vocalists, with the bassist and also vocalist Mark Hoppus and the drummer Scott Raynor, who was later replaced by Travis Barker. The band blew up in the late 90s, especially after the album Enema of the State, that one with the Sexy Nurse cover, you know, and that's also the album that features the song Aliens Exist, based on Tom's lifelong interest on things that are out of this world. So according to Tom, he's always been fascinated by science fiction since he was a kid, especially with Star Wars in the early 80s. He said in interviews that he started getting more involved during middle school because his parents were working all day and he was a rebellious skateboarder kid who was into punk rock. And then he started to think that there had to be more to life than just that. Okay, so he started to study by himself, read government reports, read about people who claim to have seen UFOs. He was so passionate about the topic that he said that he used his first check after Blink signed to a major record label to buy a computer, specifically to get deeper into researching the subject. It's just so cute that he used the money for that. But anyway, he also estimates that he's read over 200 books on the topic. Alright, then Blink blew up and Tom would keep telling his bandmates about the things that he was learning. So he would basically pin the guys down backstage and keep saying, did you know this? Did you know that? And nowadays he kind of fall vibes. And nowadays he thinks it's funny to think how annoyed everyone probably were because of it. Now we're gonna get more serious. In an early 2000s interview, when Blink was at its peak airwave success, Tom mentions a friend who allegedly spent a decade talking to former government employees about having witnessed UFOs, and even shows a collection of videotapes with 136 hours of people testifying to encounters. Okay, early 2000s, so far so good. Then the years went by, and in 2005, Blink-182 broke up. Then they got back together in 2009, but in 2015, Tom decided to leave the band. So fans were really upset. Everyone thought that he was crazy for leaving, and him and the band said that he decided to leave Blink-182 because he wanted to work on non-musical stuff. But later he revealed that actually he left the band because he wanted to dedicate himself more to studying UFOs. That same year, Tom said in an interview that he had experienced an unusual phenomenon when he went camping in the desert near Area 51, which is an Air Force base in Nevada that many people believe is where the US government studies aliens. Tom said that when he was there, he woke up at 3 in the morning, felt like a static electricity going through his body, and heard what sounded like 20 people talking things that he couldn't understand. And he said that that's actually how he believes that abductions take place, that instead of being that cartoonish thing where the spaceship comes and gets you, it could actually be more about our connection to the universe. So it's more related to our consciousness, and less of an extraterrestrial thing. Tom began to talk more and more about UFOs in interviews, and even released a science fiction book series called Sacred Machines, which explores government ties to UFOs and aliens, and that he says was inspired by real event accounts he heard from US military officials. Dude, this is so interesting. Listen, and still in 2015, he also began to reach out to military officials and politicians to try to learn more about what they knew and gather information information about how the US might have been researching for UFO encounters. Because of that, he was even exposed by WikiLeaks in 2016. When Hillary Clinton's email server leaked that year, some of Tom's emails were leaked as well because he had been sending emails to her campaign manager at the time, sending him links, asking questions about alien life, and trying to set up a meeting with an Air Force general he knew. Though there's no evidence that Tom ever met up with Hillary Clinton's campaign manager, a couple of months after the leak, by coincidence or not, she said in an interview that if she became president that year, she would declassify as much as she could on the Area 51 files. Anyways. Okay, it's getting hotter. In 2017, Tom gathered a group of former officials and researchers from Pentagon, CIA, and the Department of Defense and founded To the Stars, Academy of Arts and Science, or simply To the Stars. The company is dedicated to collecting and researching documents and materials from the public and private sources that are related to UFOs, or how officials prefer to call it nowadays, UAP, Unidentified Aerial Phenomenon. The company also has an entertainment division that was originally Tom's record label, which publishes and produces albums, books, TV shows, and films, and this is where things get really interesting. In December 2017, To the Stars published 3 videos that had been captured by Navy pilots in 2014 and 2015. The videos were also shared by the New York Times and showed weird objects flying and moving quickly in the sky while the pilots try to understand what they're seeing. In the meantime, Tom started working as executive producer on a History Channel series called Unidentified, which, according to the description of it, exposes the incredible secrets of the American government's secret UFO program, shedding new light on unidentified flying phenomena in the USA and around the world. And then in 2019, the USA Navy confirmed that yes, those videos were actually real, and that yes, they were recorded by Navy pilots during the training evolution, and that yes, they did show unidentified aerial phenomena. And much of that just happened because of Tom DeLonge's work. After the Navy's official statement, Tom gave some interviews saying that he was very excited about the whole confirmation, even though he says he knew all along that they weren't just saying it. And he also said that his favorite video is one called Gimbal, where a pilot wonders if what he's seeing is a drone, and he also said that this is one of the clearest videos. And Tom also said in an interview from Rolling Stone that part of his excitement was because he was really surprised, because he thinks that the government should work for people and not the other way around. Now, in 2020, the Navy officially made the videos public, and by the way, I have a theory that they just released all that in 2020 because the pandemic was happening, so everyone was so focused on the pandemic that no one actually paid attention to all this alien drama happening. But and Tom is still working on music. Like I said at the beginning of the video, his band Angels and Airwaves just released new music, and they have been making music ever since 2005. I just saw them this summer on Lollapalooza. As for his friendship with Blink-182, he said that they're on good terms, they're still friends, and they're often calling each other. In 2019, the band dedicated Aliens Exist to Tom at one of their concerts celebrating the 20 years of Enema of the State. And Tom said at the time that Travis even congratulated him for all the work that he has been doing. But when Tom was asked if he would show Blink-182 to aliens to explain what Earth music sounds like, he said that he would not because the aliens probably wouldn't get the jokes and also would be really offended, and it started an interplanetary war. So he would play Angels and Airwaves instead because the aliens would recognize the space progressive sound. Yeah, I don't disagree with that, honestly. Anyways, even though a lot of people out there made fun of him because of all that and call him crazy, and even though a lot of Blink-182 fans got really mad at him for leaving Blink-182, honestly, Tom seems to be really happy doing his thing, doing what he's passionate about. But yeah, even his Instagram profile picture has like an alien thing, so he's really into it. But that's it. I love this story so much and I was so excited to share it. I hope you liked the video. If you did, don't forget to subscribe, and if you didn't, I really hope the aliens doesn't get you when they come, because if they came now and they wanted to take me out of this world, I would be like, yes, let's go. Bye.